Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed my Criterion video, and if you haven't watched it yet, please watch. If you like it, give it a like. If you have any comments, please comment below. On this video, hopefully I get these both up on today. If not, if you're watching this the next day, I do apologize about the delay. But on this video, I'm going to review another box set. It's not a brand new box set, but here lately it's been pretty coveted amongst Blu-ray collectors. The box that I'm talking about is the Ultimate Halloween Collection, the complete collection, the 15-disc collection. It has every single Halloween movie up until the reboot/sequel that came out a couple years ago. I bought it when it came out, and I want to say I paid $130 for it. And I bought it for two reasons. One, my brother talked me into it. My brother's like, dude, you work like 50 hours a week. You treat yourself a little bit. Yeah, it's $130, but you're going to get all of them. And he was right about that, and that's another reason why I bought it. It had all of them, and I got rid of all my other DVD copies of this. I sold them to a friend of mine for like a really good deal. So I bought it. I thought nothing of it. I was like, okay, if anything, like this is going to go out of print. They're just going to release like kind of like a condensed, not so flashy version of this. And they ended up doing, I think the only difference with that was the standard one, the one that ended up coming out after this was like Digipack. And it didn't include the alternate cut of Halloween 6. It may have not even included the bonus disc. So this is like 2013, maybe 14. Let's flash to now, and I'm on these physical media sites, some other groups I follow on Facebook, along with physical media. There's people, this is like, people are on the hunt for this. And the funny part about it is, the 4K releases are coming out soon. Granted, it's the first 5, but still they're coming out. And I figured, like, this would probably diminish the value a little bit. Granted, the 5K, they're only doing the first 5, not all of them. But I figured this would diminish in value in a little bit. And I never bought this to resell it. I bought it because I wanted all of them in one, and I needed to upgrade. Because out of horror franchises, Halloween's probably like one of my favorites. So I went on. I mean, there was one physical media group that I do follow. A guy was like willing to pay $500 for this. I saw one guy pay like $230. I know one paid like $150. Amazon had a brand new sealed one for like $1,200, and then after that, I mean, it ranged from like $400 to maybe like $250. I don't know. It fluctuates. Probably changed at some point. And a YouTuber by the name of Cinestalker, probably heard of him. Shout out to him. Love your channel, dude. Love your content. I think he walked away with a brand new sealed one for $100. So that's probably the best bargain I've seen so far, as like, how much these have went in value, was Cinestalker buying a brand new sealed one. I think he paid $100 for it. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. Again, shout out Cinestalker. Love your channel, dude. Keep up the awesome work. So yeah, I don't have any intentions on selling this because I do love it. It's one of my favorite horror box sets, and let's go through them. I'll try to be brief. And I'll try to be brief because I'm not I love horror, but I'm not like all into it. But so yeah, a little fair warning. Of course, the original Halloween. This is a 2-disc. I think it has 2 different transfers on here. I'm not too sure. Fun fact, one of the first VHS tapes I ever bought was Halloween. So I always have like nice memories of this film. Sitting in my bedroom Friday night, don't have school, watching my Halloween VHS that I bought from Kmart on my 13-inch JVC TV VCR combo. Probably the best piece of electronic home entertainment I ever owned. I mean, yeah, I got a projector down here, got the 55-inch 4K in the back living room, and I got my Vizio in the front living room. But still, if I ever come across one, I'm buying another one. Halloween 2. And the one reason I do love these is it comes with the theatrical, like the poster art. I'm a stickler for that. I made mention of that in the Arrow video that I did. I'm a stickler for that. I love seeing like original art from artists all over the world with movies and stuff, especially the Mondo stuff. But like for me, it's this. And I really wasn't too impressed with the 4K ones, the artwork for that. I hopefully underneath it's like a slipcover and it has this. But this was the first Halloween movie I ever watched. It was when I was like 7, 8 years old. I started watching horror movies, and I remember the cable networks like USA, TNT, TBS always showing like the sequel, and it was very rare you saw like the like the first in a series or a franchise. I remember I didn't see the first Halloween until I think I bought it on videotape, or I may have been at a friend's house. And then the Nightmare on Elm Street too. Like the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie I watched was New Nightmare, so I had a lot of catching up to do. This not so much, but with New Nightmare I had a lot of catch up to do. And lo and behold, you get the TV version with this. I mean, it's only DVD, but still, you have it. So, pretty solid release. And this one gets a lot of flack. It won't be the only one in this collection that gets a lot of flack, but the first one that gets flack, Halloween 3. I loved Halloween 3. And had they done this one instead of Halloween 2, because the intention was to have like a different like horror story with each film, with each Halloween film. Had this been like Halloween 2, I think it might have worked if they explained the concept to people. Again, like have a different story set on Halloween. Each film be a different story set on Halloween. I think that would have like, had it been, like I said, been Halloween 2, rambling, I'm sorry. Had that been Halloween 2, I think it would have worked, and they would explain that, it would have worked. But, I mean, if you just ignore it's supposed to be a Halloween movie, it's supposed to just be Season of the Witch, I think you would have a better chance of accepting it. I've thought that from the beginning. Like, I ignore it's supposed to be a Halloween movie, and that's why I enjoy it. And you can't beat Tom Atkins. You really can't. These next two I'm going to do together because I always kind of paired them together. Halloween 4 and 5. Try to put them in order. Halloween 4 and 5. I remember looking at these before I started watching horror movies, and like the cover would scare the shit out of me because, like, you know, I remember being in class and people making up like stories about seeing Michael Myers and like how gruesome and how like ruthless and like he was, and that me being a gullible kid, I bought it, and just the cover alone scared the shit out of me. So I like looking at these covers. I just remember walking down the horror section at a video store, and I'm just like, oh man, that's probably terrifying. I love that they went back to basics, the basic formula of the Halloween Michael Myers after 3, and they didn't really have to do too much because like you just ignore 3 supposed to be a Halloween movie. I mean, you'll be all right, but. So yeah, I actually haven't watched these two very much. Like, I've watched them, but I haven't really watched them as much as I've watched the other ones. And I heard 5 has like deleted scenes, and I think may have an alternate cut. I think that's the movie that they unearthed all that footage, or was that a Friday the 13th? Either way, comment below. This next one, this is, I think, the reason why this set was exclusive. It has the producer's cut on it. And and they did release this by itself, standalone, I think, a couple years later, and I think the producer's cut is on it. Actually, it is, because I remember seeing producer's cut available on this disc or whatever. And that's one of the things I love about film. I love unreleased films. I love alternate versions of films that don't get released, and just kind of the legend and like kind of how that has an audience. Like, I have like several bootlegs of stuff. And I never got around to watching the producer's cut of Halloween. I'm surprised, because I do own the 4-hour version of Spinal Tap and the 5-hour work print of Apocalypse Now. But I've yet to sit down. I yet watched the producer's cut until it got officially available. And the producer's cut is like my preferred choice now of watching it. And I loved it. It was a darker take on Michael Myers and all that, and I could kind of see why they didn't want to do it. I mean, had they released it, it would have been a very bold move. I think Miramax released this. Yeah, Miramax's part, but they didn't really want to. They wanted a 90-minute popcorn movie, and that's what they gave people. And so the legend of the producer's cut came about, and it got released, got leaked. It was a bootleg for years, and then they put it out on this nice, lovely release. And like I said, a standalone release is with it too. This next one I have very fond memories of, and I'm going to get a little personal a little bit. Halloween H2O. I went and seen this with 2 friends of mine, my friend Emily, and the other one was named Sarah. I ended up marrying Sarah years later at the same movie theater we saw this in. And it was the first time I ever went to a movie without my parents. I didn't know back then, but now, like, looking back, my future wife was with me. So me and my wife, it brings back fond memories of us seeing this together because, like I said, it was my first time seeing a movie without my parents. It's the first time I ever saw a movie with a group of friends, and my future wife was in there. So we have very fond memories of it. And we ended up getting married at the movie theater we saw this in because of that. And that's what I pointed out to her. She's like, well, where you want to get married? I proposed to her at the movie theater. And then we ended up getting married there because of this. All because we saw Halloween H2O when we were 11. That's just, so I have a personal connection with this movie. And it's not terrible. I mean, they were really honing in on like the 20th anniversary of Halloween and like who was on, the WB shows back in the day, but it's not all that terrible. But like I said, I have a different opinion on it because I have a personal memory attached to it. Like I said, me and a girl who ended up becoming my wife ended up seeing this. So yeah. And that was something we mentioned in the first day. She's like, remember we saw that Halloween movie? I was like, yeah, we didn't get carded. That's cool. Because back then the state theater didn't give a shit. They're just like, oh, it's rated R, whatever, go in. At least you're not vandalizing anything. And last of this, Halloween Resurrection. Again, didn't watch this too much. I don't know. Like, to me, like, I don't know when it went wrong, but like the original franchise just kind of started to weigh on me. Like 4 and 5 wasn't bad, but I'm just kind of like, I'm not too fond of them. 6 was awesome. And of course, H2O, like I said, I got a personal memory attached. When the first movie me and my wife saw my first movie I ever saw without my parents, my woman that ended up becoming my wife was with me. Sorry, I got a little flustered. Resurrection just lost me. It's not a great film, but it's a part of it. Honestly think they should have stopped after H2O, but whatever. But it got remade, and it's highly controversial, and I get it. Like, if you're a horror purist and you feel that certain things shouldn't be touched with, I get it. I completely, wholeheartedly understand, because you know what? I don't like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I thought that was bullshit. And if you think these next 2 remakes are bullshit, hey, to each his own, I respect you. But they included the Rob Zombie Halloweens, which was extremely controversial because, like, I remember when the announcement was made that they were going to get remade, and everybody's like, oh, you can't remake that classic and all this other stuff. And they're kind of right. But here's the thing. I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. I made that known in the Electric Warlock. What was this last album that got made? Electric Warlock, that was the one before. But anyway, the last album he did, I did a review on. And, damn, I should have done my research for this video. I do apologize about my sloppiness in this video. But, I remember when the announcement was made, everybody was turning their nose at it. But I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan, so, like, to me, I was like, I think he'll do it good. And in his defense, I'll stick up for him. The original franchise wasn't really doing anybody any favors, because Resurrection, I feel was like a weak last entry, honestly. And like I said, I wasn't crazy about 4 and 5. 6 was pretty redeeming. Of course, Halloween H2O wasn't great, but like I said, I got a personal memory attached to that one. But I mean, Halloween was good. It's a Rob Zombie movie. It's not Rob Zombie Presents Halloween. It's Rob Zombie. But it still ended up becoming like a studio film because he always talked about the notes he got and all that other stuff. So I liked it. I liked it for what it was worth. And of course, I loved Halloween 2 because this is a crazy batshit Rob Zombie movie, more so than that one. So I really enjoyed what he did with this. And this one has a bonus disc with more features regarding the Halloween series, and I think it may have the TV cut, the infamous TV cut of Halloween. So there you have it. There's and one other thing I like to mention, and this was done unintentionally, let me find it. They matched the 4K of the Halloween reboot / sequel, which quickly I will touch on. I do like what David Gordon Green and Danny McBride's doing to it. I kind of think it's unfair to the other Halloween sequels that this one essentially takes place after the first one. And I loved Halloween too, but like, with any franchise or any film, there's flaws to it. And there's plenty of flaws to the franchise, but they're not big enough for me and millions of others not to enjoy. So I kind of get where they're coming from. But I think they're doing a good job. They're on a good start. Like I said, I felt it was kind of unfair to the other sequels that they're just kind of being like, it's the 78, then this one, and then Halloween Kills, and I think they're going to do another one called Halloween Dies. But at the same time, we live in a world where you can have that. Like, you have what they're doing, that series of film exists, and then you could have the original ones too, and you can count out the Rob Zombie ones too because those are the remakes. So like we can live in a world where two different kind of sets of reboots and franchises live within the same film. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah. So does anybody? So that's it. I'm jumping a little ahead of the gun. Do apologize. I wing these. Like I don't like have a script. One of these days I'll get organized, but hell, I probably won't even read it. I'll still do the same stuff. So that'll be it for me. Thank you for tuning in. Do you own this? Do you want to own this? How much are you willing to pay for this? Please comment below. If you like this video, please hit like. And if you like the 2 videos and hope I do more and not take me 4 months, please consider subscribing. So have a wonderful Sunday. And until next time, thank you, everybody.